There is a quiet power in solitude. In a world that demands constant validation, applause, and attention, stepping back can feel counterintuitive. But if you desire true growth, real transformation, you must retreat inward and focus on yourself. Everything you need is already within you. Success doesn't come from shouting your plans to the world or seeking approval from others. It comes from aligning your inner world with a vision of who you wish to become. Your job is not to prove anything to anyone, it's to believe so deeply in your own vision that the external world has no choice but to conform. Silence is your greatest ally. When you work quietly, you create an environment where focus thrives. No distractions, no noise, only intention. Every day spent laboring in silence is a day closer to your breakthrough. Let your results be the loudest thing in the room. Detach from the need for recognition. When you stop looking for validation, you create space for something more profound, self-approval. True power comes when you no longer depend on others to confirm what you already know to be true about yourself. You are the architect of your life. The law is simple: what you assume to be true within yourself will manifest externally. So assume greatness. Assume abundance. Act as if your dreams are already fulfilled, and watch how the universe conspires in your favor. Remember this: where your attention goes, energy flows. Focus on yourself, not on what others are doing, not on what the world expects. Your growth, your discipline, and your silence will create a life that speaks for itself. So I challenge you today: work hard in silence. Let your success make the noise. You're capable of far more than you realize, and your best is yet to come. But first, it starts with you. Focus inward, and everything else will follow. Success begins in the mind. The external world, everything you see and experience, is but a mirror reflecting the thoughts and beliefs you hold within. Before any great achievement is realized, it exists first as a seed planted in the fertile soil of your imagination. This is where the journey begins, not with actions or external circumstances, but with a single vision born in the depths of your mind. Think of your mind as the architect of your life. Every thought, every image you entertain is like a blueprint shaping the structure of your future. If you wish to build something extraordinary, you must design it with intention. What do you truly desire? What does your highest self look like, act like, and feel like? These questions are not just musings, they are the foundation of everything you will create. But it's not enough to simply daydream. The power lies in focus. Too often we let our minds drift, hopping from one idea to another, distracted by the noise of the world. To harness the creative energy of your mind, you must discipline it. Choose a vision that excites you, that stirs something deep within your soul, and commit to it. Hold it close. Nurture it as you would a fragile flame, shielding it from the winds of doubt and fear. There's a reason this work begins in silence. The noise of the external world can drown out the whispers of your intuition. In solitude, you gain clarity. In quiet moments, you can see with precision the life you want to create. The clearer your vision, the stronger your belief becomes, and belief is the key to manifestation. The next step is to align yourself with this vision. It's not enough to see the life you want, you must embody it. This means acting as if you are already living that reality. Carry yourself with the confidence of someone who has already achieved what they desire. Speak, think, and make decisions from the perspective of your future self. This is not about pretending or faking, it's about becoming. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your vision, you activate a powerful force that draws your desires toward you. Yet this is where many falter. They grow impatient, doubting the process when they don't see immediate results. But remember, the vision you hold in your mind is like a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout the moment it's planted. It requires time, care, and trust. You don't dig it up every day to check. If it's growing, you water it, nurture it, and trust that the unseen forces of nature are doing their work. The same is true for your dreams. As you nurture this vision, you'll notice something remarkable: your external circumstances begin to shift. Opportunities you never anticipated arise. People and resources seem to appear as if by coincidence. But these are not coincidences. They are the natural unfolding of your focused intent. The world rearranges itself to mirror the image you hold in your mind. It's important, too, to guard this vision. Not everyone will understand it. Some will doubt you, others may even mock your aspirations. This is why working in silence is so crucial. Your dreams are sacred, and they require protection. Speak of them only to those who will uplift and support you. Better yet, let your actions and results do the talking. There is immense power in moving quietly, building steadily, and letting your success speak for itself. The power of inner vision is a principle that has stood the test of time. Every great achiever, every trailblazer, began with a dream, a vivid image held firmly in their mind. They refused to let doubt, fear, or external circumstances shake their belief. They understood that the mind is the master, and the outer world is but its servant. So if you desire success, don't start by looking outward. Start within. Turn your gaze inward and craft the vision of your life with care and intention. See it clearly. Believe in it wholeheartedly. Act as though it is already yours. And then watch as the world bends to the force of your focused mind. Everything you need to create the life you desire is already within you. Success begins in the mind, so begin there. Silence is where growth begins. In a world filled with constant noise voices competing for attention, opinions shaping our perceptions, and distractions pulling us in every direction, the value of working quietly is often overlooked. Yet silence is the space where the most profound transformations occur. It is within this quiet realm that focus sharpens, energy consolidates, and progress accelerates. When you choose to work in silence, you are making a conscious decision to step away from the noise of validation and criticism. It's not about hiding, it's about preserving the sanctity of your efforts. Every great masterpiece, whether it's a painting, a novel, or an invention, began in obscurity, away from the gaze of others. The artist, the writer, the innovator, they all understand the power of creating in a space free from external influence. In silence, there is no need to explain or defend. There is only the work itself, untainted and pure. This silence allows you to focus on the process rather than the performance. Too often, people are consumed by the need to show their progress, to broadcast their efforts, and to gather applause along the way. But this outward focus is a trap. It scatters your energy, dividing it between creation and expectation. When you work quietly, all that energy is channeled into your task, creating a force that is unstoppable. Progress made in silence is progress unburdened by the weight of external judgment. There's also a deeper reason why silence amplifies growth. It keeps you anchored to your purpose. When you're not concerned with what others think or how they perceive your journey, you can stay true to the vision that ignited your efforts in the first place. This clarity ensures that every step you take is aligned with your goals, not influenced by trends or the opinions of others. The more you focus inward, the more your work becomes an authentic expression of who you are and what you aspire to achieve. Silence also protects you from the premature judgments of others. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some may doubt your ability, others may even attempt to dissuade you. These opinions, whether well-meaning or not, can plant seeds of doubt in your mind. By working in silence, you shield yourself from this interference. You allow your efforts to mature and your results to speak for themselves when the time is right. And when they do, those results carry a power that no words ever could. The beauty of working in silence is that it builds resilience. When you're not dependent on external praise, you learn to find validation within yourself. You become your own cheerleader, your own motivator, and your own source of strength. This self-reliance is invaluable because it ensures that your progress is not contingent on the approval of others. Whether people notice or not, whether they applaud or remain indifferent, you continue moving forward. That consistency, that unshakable determination, is what ultimately leads to success. Some might say that working in silence feels lonely, but solitude is not the same as isolation. Solitude is a space for reflection, for reconnecting with your purpose, and for refining your efforts. It's in these quiet moments that you gain clarity about what truly matters. You learn to listen to your intuition, to trust your instincts, and to make decisions that align with your vision. The solitude of working in silence is a gift, one that allows you to grow without distractions and to create without compromise. And then one day the results of your efforts begin to emerge. Like the first green shoots of a seed that has been nurtured underground, your progress becomes visible. People will notice the changes in you, the strides you've made, and the success you've achieved. They'll wonder how it happened so suddenly, not realizing that the groundwork was laid long before in moments of quiet dedication. When your success speaks, it does so with a clarity and impact that words cannot match. It doesn't need explanation or justification. It stands as proof of your hard work, your focus, and your resilience. This is the power of working in silence. It transforms your efforts into something undeniable, something that speaks louder than any announcement or proclamation ever could. So embrace the quiet. Let your work grow away from prying eyes and unsolicited opinions. Dedicate yourself fully, not to impress others, but to fulfill the vision that burns within you. In time, your results will echo far beyond the silence in which they were born, and they will speak for you in ways that words never can. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of focus, intention, and unstoppable progress. Detach from external validation, and you will discover a freedom so profound that it transforms your life from the inside out. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to seek approval smiles from our parents, gold stars from our teachers, likes on our posts, and recognition from our peers. This constant striving for validation becomes a habit. And over time, it clouds our judgment and dictates our actions. But what if you could break free from this cycle? What if your worth wasn't tied to the opinions of others? Imagine the clarity, the power, and the peace that would follow. Seeking external validation is a trap that keeps you perpetually tethered to the expectations of the world. Every time you adjust your behavior to gain approval, you give away a piece of your authenticity. You mold yourself into what others want to see rather than becoming who you are meant to be. It's exhausting because the standards of others are ever changing, and no matter how much you do, there will always be someone who finds fault or criticizes. Chasing approval is like trying to fill a bottomless cup. It drains your energy without ever satisfying your soul. True fulfillment doesn't come from applause or recognition, it comes from within. When you learn to detach from the need for external validation, you reclaim your power. You begin to live for yourself rather than for the expectations of others. This doesn't mean you stop caring about people or their opinions entirely. It means you stop letting their opinions define you. You become the source of your own validation, deciding for yourself what is right, meaningful, and worth pursuing. Detachment doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with awareness. Start by noticing when and why you seek approval. Is it out of fear of rejection, a desire to belong, or perhaps a habit ingrained so deeply you don't even realize you're doing it? Once you identify these moments, you can begin to shift your perspective. Instead of asking, what will they think, ask, what do I think? What feels true to me? These questions guide you back to your own voice, your own truth. Living without the need for external validation also strengthens your resilience. When your sense of worth is rooted in your own beliefs and values, it becomes unshakable. Criticism may still sting, but it won't derail you. Praise may feel nice, but it won't define you. You develop a steadiness that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. No longer swayed by the opinions of others, you become anchored in your own sense of self. This shift also frees you to take risks and pursue your dreams. So many people hold themselves back because they fear judgment or failure. They worry about what others will think if they stumble or fall short. But when you detach from external validation, you realize that failure is just a step on the path to success, not a verdict on your worth. You become willing to try, to experiment, and to grow because you are no longer performing for an audience. You're living for yourself, guided by your own aspirations and values. Detaching from external validation doesn't mean you become indifferent or disconnected from the world. In fact, it allows you to connect more deeply. When you are no longer trying to prove yourself or seek approval, you can show up authentically in your relationships. You can listen without needing to be heard, give without expecting anything in return, and love without conditions. This authenticity enriches your connections and brings a sense of peace that is impossible to find when you are constantly seeking validation. One of the greatest gifts of detachment is the space it creates for creativity and innovation. When you stop worrying about what others think, you become free to explore new ideas and take bold steps. You no longer censor yourself or conform to what is safe and acceptable. Instead, you trust your instincts and allow your unique perspective to shine. This is where true genius lies, in the courage to be yourself, regardless of whether others approve. In time, you'll find that the opinions you once chased no longer matter. The validation you once sought from others will pale in comparison to the fulfillment of living authentically. You'll realize that your worth was never something to be earned or proven, it was always inherent. Detaching from external validation isn't about rejecting others, it's about embracing yourself. So release the need for approval. Stop looking outside for confirmation of what you already know within. Live boldly, love deeply, and trust that your path is valid, because it is yours. In this freedom, you will find not only peace, but also the strength to create a life that reflects your true self, a life that needs no validation to be meaningful. The law of assumption is one of the most transformative principles you can apply in your life. It is the idea that you can create your desired reality by assuming it is already true. This isn't about wishful thinking or pretending, it's about embodying the belief that your desired outcome is already a fact. When you adopt this mindset, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you want to experience, and in doing so, you activate a powerful force that shapes your world accordingly. I think for a moment about the way you live your life now. Much of what you do is based on assumptions, beliefs you hold about yourself, your abilities, and what you think is possible for you. These assumptions dictate your decisions, your behaviors, and ultimately the results you see in your life. If your current assumptions are limited, if they tell you that you're not good enough, not capable enough, or that success is out of reach, then your life will reflect those beliefs. But when you consciously choose to assume a new identity, one that aligns with the life you want, everything begins to change. Assuming the reality of your desire starts in the mind. It requires you to imagine in vivid detail the version of yourself who has already achieved what you seek. How do they think? How do they think, carry themselves? What decisions do they make? Close your eyes and picture the confidence in their posture, the calm assurance in their voice, the way they move through the world with purpose. This is not someone separate from you, this is you. Your job is to step into that version of yourself now, to act as if you already are that person. When you live from this assumption, your mind begins to work in alignment with your vision. The brain is an incredible tool, wired to seek evidence for what you believe to be true. By assuming your desires as a reality, you train your mind to notice opportunities, solutions, and paths that align with your goals. You stop focusing on obstacles and start seeing possibilities. The more you assume this identity, the more natural it feels, and soon your actions and behaviors will reflect this new belief. It's important to understand that the law of assumption is not about forcing or struggling. It's about ease and alignment. You don't need to convince anyone of your new reality, and you certainly don't need to push against circumstances that appear to contradict your vision. Instead, trust in the process. Your assumption of a new reality is like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing, you nurture it with patience, knowing that growth happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Doubt is the only thing that can disrupt this process. When you assume something is true, you don't question it. You don't waver between belief and disbelief. Think about the way you believe the sun will rise tomorrow. You don't need proof, you simply know it to be true. Approach your desired reality with the same certainty. Let your faith in your vision be unwavering, no matter what the external world may look like. This practice requires consistency. It's not enough to assume your desires once and then return to old patterns of thought. Make it a daily habit to align yourself with your desired reality. Use visualization, affirmations, and intentional actions to reinforce your assumption. Surround yourself with reminders of who you are becoming and what you are creating. The more you saturate your mind with this new identity, the faster it becomes your dominant reality. You may encounter resistance along the way, both from within and from others. Old habits and doubts may surface, and people around you may question your new attitude or decisions. This is natural, but it's also temporary. As you stay committed to your assumption, the evidence of your new reality will begin to emerge, and those doubts, both yours and others', will fade away. The law of assumption doesn't just change your external circumstances, it transforms you from the inside out. It helps you step into a version of yourself that is more confident, more capable, and more aligned with your true potential. The more you live from this place, the more you'll realize that you are the creator of your experience. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, you are the architect of your life. In time, the line between assumption and reality will blur. What you once imagined will become your everyday experience, and you'll look back in awe at how your beliefs shaped your world. The law of assumption is not magic, it's a principle of creation that works as surely as gravity. Assume the reality of your desires and watch as your life transforms to meet your vision. In this journey of growth, learning to ignore the distractions and live in alignment with your own values is one of the most profound shifts you can make. Life constantly presents noise in the form of societal pressures, expectations, and the opinions of others. Everywhere you turn, There are voices telling you who you should be, what you should want, and how you should live. But true success, peace, and fulfillment come when you decide to stop listening to the distractions and start listening to your inner voice. The noise of the world is loud and pervasive. It can be difficult to separate what truly matters from what others want you to care about. You are bombarded by opinions, advice, advertisements, and the lives of others that seem more polished or successful. In the age of social media, this has only become more intense, as the highlight reels of others often drown out the quiet whispers of your own soul. Yet this constant external input keeps you in a state of comparison, insecurity, and confusion. You find yourself questioning your decisions, doubting your abilities, and constantly seeking validation. When you stop listening to the distractions, you create space for clarity and purpose. This doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world, but rather choosing what to focus on. You get to decide what information enters your mind and what actions you take. You reclaim your power by tuning out the noise and tuning into your inner guidance. You recognize that the loudest voices in the room are not always the ones that lead you in the right direction. True wisdom and direction come from within, and when you listen to your inner voice, you align yourself with the path that is meant for you. One of the most powerful tools you can use to navigate this world of distractions is mindfulness. By becoming aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings, you learn to recognize the moments when you're being pulled into distractions that don't serve you. This awareness allows you to make conscious decisions rather than reacting out of habit or fear. When you're mindful, you stop being led by the whims of others and start steering your own ship. You focus on what matters most to you and let go of the need to please others or keep up with the latest trends. Living with purpose means that your actions are rooted in your values, not in external expectations. When you align your life with your inner truth, you gain a sense of direction that guides your decisions and shapes your experiences. Instead of chasing the next shiny object or trying to meet the standards set by others, you focus on what is most important to you, whether it's personal growth, your family, your career, or your spiritual journey. The distractions fade away because they no longer hold the same weight. Your life becomes centered around your own desires and your authentic self. To ignore distractions is not to close yourself off to the world, but to refuse to let external forces dictate your path. You learn to filter out the noise and tune into what truly matters. This requires strength and discipline, but the rewards are immeasurable. As you move through life with intention and focus, you build confidence in your decisions. You trust that the path you are walking is the right one, even if it doesn't always look like the paths others are taking. This doesn't mean that distractions will never come. Life will continue to offer noise, whether it's from other people or circumstances. But when you're anchored in your own sense of self, you'll find that the noise becomes easier to ignore. The opinions and judgments of others no longer hold the same power over you because you know who you are and what you stand for. You trust your instincts and your ability to navigate your own life. Over time, this shift in focus brings greater peace and fulfillment. The constant tug of war with external validation begins to fade. You stop measuring your worth based on the opinions of others or what society deems important. Instead, you begin to measure your success by your own standards. You find that the more you live in alignment with your values, the less you need to be distracted by what others think. You become centered, focused, and at peace with the path you're on. This is where true freedom lies in the power to live authentically, without being swayed by the ever-changing expectations of the world around you. You get to decide how you show up in the world, what you care about, and what you choose to focus on. The distractions lose their grip on you because you no longer see them as the measure of your worth or success. So ignore the distractions, trust yourself, and focus on what truly matters. Tune into your inner voice and let it guide you toward the life that is uniquely yours. As you do, you will discover that the noise fades away and the path ahead becomes clear. You are no longer distracted by the opinions or expectations of others. You are living for yourself, aligned with your truth, and walking your own path. The journey of focusing on yourself and ignoring distractions is a powerful act of self-liberation. By detaching from external validation and the noise of the world, you allow yourself to live authentically and in alignment with your true purpose. The distractions that once held sway over your thoughts, actions, and decisions lose their power when you embrace your own inner voice and trust in your own path. With mindfulness, discipline, and the courage to stay true to your values, you free yourself from the cycle of comparison and external approval. The process of focusing on yourself is not about isolating from the world, but about choosing to engage with life on your own terms. It is about understanding that your worth is not determined by others, and that your success is measured by your own standards. The more you embody this truth, the clearer your path becomes, and the greater peace and fulfillment you will experience. When you stop listening to the distractions and start listening to your own heart, you unlock the power within you to create a life that is truly yours, a life filled with purpose, clarity, and the freedom to live as your most authentic self. So take a step back, tune into your inner voice, and let it guide you. The world will always have distractions, but the peace and fulfillment you seek can only be found when you focus on what truly matters yourself.